Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Happy Hump Day out there. Welcome into the Auburn Blitz. I'm Randy Lee alongside JJ today, and we'll be here with you until 1 o'clock. Give us a phone call, 256-234-6221. Perfect day for us to do this as the SEC tournament is starting tonight, JJ. You as a Bama fan had another great season. Me as an Auburn fan living in the state of Alabama are happy to see what we've got with college basketball now, because if Auburn hasn't won a championship recently, it's been Alabama doing all the winning.
Yeah.
Outside of the 80s, have you ever had a moment where we've been as strong as we are now?
No. And you know, I was thinking about that the other day. Because I really – that's when I sort of fell in love with college basketball, was in the 80s, you know, and watching Sonny and Wimp and those teams, you know, and there was so much fun there in the mid-'80s. And so it is kind of – it's fun to see it go back and forth, you know. And the thing about Auburn is you go back and look at the losses. You got close quality losses.
Yeah.
Littered over the schedule. You know what I mean?
On the road.
You've got like two, you know. The Georgia loss is, I mean, it's just inexcusable. Nothing you can do about it. It happens. But the rest of them is just littered with quality close losses.
Yep. The loss at Vandy against a team that's now 11-7.
I've been saying this for weeks. Don't let that overall record fool you. That's a good basketball team.
That's a very well-coached basketball team. You know, I had the good fortune of going that night and to just watch it and sit there and see the sets that they had in the half court. Mm-hmm. They got what they wanted. Mm-hmm. You know, and Robbins didn't have to hit but 3 shots in the paint, but he hit 18 free throws. And the reason is we were having to hack-a-shack him to not give up just easy buckets. Jerry Stackhouse, that's a storyline. JJ, I thought first part of the season he'd be fired by now.
Yeah.
To watch the way that they started and to see what they've done the last couple of years. But SEC Coach of the Year, and he's really righted the ship and finishing 11-7. He's got a chance if he can pick up a couple of wins in the SEC tournament to get that team in the NCAA tournament. Yeah. Big storyline.
I mean, they're like I said, that's a pretty good team. And they like you said, Stackhouse has done a good job. So Stackhouse needs one big year. If he can come have a big year next year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't mean Final Four. I'm talking – make the tournament, maybe go to the Sweet 16 or something, and somebody's going to come looking in Nashville.
Well, back to that old, again, you want to talk about the 80s and 90s. I never remember a time where Vandy didn't have a solid basketball team.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't that they were the most athletic, but if you went over to their building, you got beat.
And they were always shooters.
Always shooters, always winners. Yeah. One more than they lost, and it's been odd the way that they've fallen back. We've always expected them to be bad in football. But, you know, the new generation probably expects them not to be good in basketball. Well, when you and I were growing up, that wasn't the case. Vandy was a place that you didn't want to go play, and you knew you were going to play against a quality opponent. And they're kind of getting that back with Stackhouse, and maybe they can keep them around. Because if there's a community that you want to build basketball in right now where the SEC tournament is, it's Nashville.
Yeah.
It could get rabid, I could suspect. So got a great matchup set up tonight. You know, you get some of these lower seeds trying to play and get a chance to move forward. Starting off 7 p.m. Eastern, that's Ole Miss taking on South Carolina. That's a 13 and a 12 seed. And then coming at 8 Central tonight's LSU and Georgia. Your thoughts on either of those two matchups?
Well, I'm a little Ole Miss is favored by 6.5. The worst. Everybody knows Ole Miss is going to go through a coaching change, right? So everybody knows. 6.5 seems like a big number, even against a bad South Carolina team. But you know, Ole Miss has been bad enough that they're going to get a new coach next year. So, so we'll see. And then LSU, Georgia. A little bit surprised LSU's favored in that game. I think Georgia can maybe pull that one out, but. You know, it should be Ole Miss and Georgia moving on, in my mind, but we'll see. 4
lowest seeds, and they've earned those seeds.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we're sitting here trying to figure out who
well, you remember LSU got off to that big non-conference start, right?
Yeah.
Where they got, 9-2 or 10-2 or whatever they were. And we all thought, wow, LSU's going to be pretty good. And they're
well,
not.
Then Alabama beat them by 70.
Yeah.
And could have beat them by 90.
Yeah,
and we all watched the game, and we could tell that the discrepancy in talent out there on the court which most teams that Alabama is going to play, you're going to see that. But their inability to defend the three-point arc that morning. It was a Saturday morning. I remember watching it going, please, Lord, tell me Alabama's not this good. Now LSU's pretty bad. And it's been that Alabama's pretty good, but I think LSU was that bad as well. Moving into tomorrow, starting at 12 o'clock Central, it's Mississippi State and Florida.
That's a good matchup there, too. Very important one because Mississippi State's got a shot at the tournament. They need to win this game, though.
Your thoughts on Auburn as we start in here on the Auburn Blitz? We've got Auburn taking on Arkansas. That one's at 6 p.m. Auburn's 20-11. Arkansas's 19-12. Auburn is 10-8 in the SEC in comparison to Arkansas at 8-10 in the SEC. Many that bleed orange and blue feel like even without a win here in this ball game, Auburn gets into the NCAA tournament. I'm one of those that say that would probably be 50-50, but a win here is 100%.
Well, win's 100%, but I think it's kind of 100% now.
Okay.
I think if they lose to Arkansas tonight, remember, Arkansas. Oops, sorry about that. Speaking of basketball, Arkansas, I haven't been able to figure out this year that they're so up and down. Auburn is. Not really. I mean, it's just Auburn's a good, solid basketball team. It's had some bad breaks through the course of the year. Maybe missed one additional score somewhere. But I think Auburn's in. I think if they lose this game, they still go as maybe an 11 seed, something like that. Arkansas may need this one more than Auburn.
Arkansas, it's a must-win.
Yeah.
Auburn may not be a must-win, but I've been an Auburn basketball fan far too long to just sit there and just write it up.
Look, one of the national guys yesterday was saying 8 SEC teams in.
Yeah.
I don't know if it gets to that. My guess is it'll be 7, but it's possible it could get to 8. Keep an eye on Mississippi State, Auburn, Arkansas, and it could get there.
Auburn did play Arkansas earlier in the year. It was on January the 7th. Auburn did win by 13 in that one. Got away from them late. Green with 19, Flanagan with 18, Broome with 10 in that one. A key in that ball game, though, Nick Smith Jr., who's gotten to where he's averaging about 20 points per game for Arkansas, was out of that ball game. Black did have 23, and Council had 14 in that one. So at least we've seen them before, and I hope we play as well, especially in the backcourt with Green and Flanagan, as we did the previous
Well, the other
time.
thing you got going on there, too, is Bruce Pearl and Eric Musselman are 2 outstanding tournament coaches.
Yeah.
So you won't have Musselman's a great tournament coach. So is Bruce Pearl. So you got both good tournament coaches. That won't be, that's kind of a wash to me tonight.
These matchups will be set, but you'll have Tennessee taking on someone tomorrow as well. They're a 5th seed, 22-9, 11-7 in the SEC. That one will actually come at 2 o'clock. Then you'll have Vandy, who's the 6th seed, playing at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Vandy with an 11-7 record in the SEC. They're 18-13. How far are they away? How many wins do they need in the tournament to get in?
2.
I think they
maybe?
do need 2.
Yeah.
Can they get them?
I don't know. Getting to Saturday, that means getting to the semifinals. I mean, who do they get? I mean, that's the thing. We know they'll get a low seed tomorrow. But who do they get Friday? That's the question.
Help us out there. I've got the bracket here.
I know if Tennessee advances, they would play Alabama Friday.
Yeah.
So Vandy, I'm assuming, who would they get?
Kentucky?
Yeah, maybe Kentucky.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think if Vandy wins 2, I think they're in. Yeah.
I do too. I think it's going to take 2. Unfortunately for Vandy, Robbins is out the remainder of the season. Had a great season, averaged like 16 points per game. I think he was first-team all-defense in the league. Great down in the post. You saw him matched up with Janai Broome. You could see the 3 or 4 inch discrepancy. And it's not only, and I want to get your opinion on this, but today's game's changing in the post.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have a post guy that can score the basketball, but it's more important to have a post guy that can rebound the basketball and defend the rim. And the imps of what you're looking for in a 5 guy now is Walker Kessler.
Yeah, there's not. The thing is, there's not a Kevin McHale out there anymore.
No,
right?
wow.
There's, the guy with the
post
moves, because you're not. That's just not the game today. And part of that is the way defense is played too, because you're not going to leave your big guy down there 1-on-1 and let McHale do his little 3 or 4 steps and dribble. You're going to collapse on that. And force the ball out somewhere. So you don't see that. But you're right, protecting the rim and getting rebounds.
It's been a little bit of the struggle for Auburn this year. I expected more out of Dylan Cardwell, I must say, this year. Janai Broome gave us a lot, and the season's not over. But when it comes to the defensive side, he's definitely not a 5, JJ. But he's been having to play a 5 on the defensive end. And he just doesn't have the athleticism, the ups and downs that we see with some of these 5s for the opposition. You know, I mean, I'm just sitting there watching him against Robbins, and it was a mismatch most of the night. He's a solid 4 guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's a big, strong body. He's a great frame. Offensively, he can get it done. Brett mentioned this yesterday. Out of his last 12 three-point attempts, he's knocked down 5 of 12, so probably needs to take a few more of those. And but, yeah, the post play for Auburn just hasn't been what we saw it last year. And, of course, you got to expect that Walker Kessler.
There were very few people were going to come in and give you that level of post play this year. But, you know, that's it's kind of where they are. I think guard play has been defensively at times has been a struggle, too. You got smaller guards.
Good point.
You're playing against a lot of 6'5" guards out there right now. Very athletic, very quick, good ball handler, 6'5" guards. And so that's been a little bit of a struggle, too. So that's something to watch is how do they – because Arkansas is long. Arkansas is pretty lengthy.
They are.
So that'll be something to watch tonight, too, is defensively how the guards play.
256-234-6221 is our phone number. Just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz. Would love to hear from you. Some of you that haven't called in a couple of weeks, today's a great day to call in. Give us your thoughts on the SEC basketball tournament. Spring practice starting for Auburn. We'll run down some of those new names that we'll be talking about this upcoming year. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
We'll bounce around a little bit today, JJ. So a lot of different topics that you and I were discussing during the break, and we'll bring them up right here. First off, NFL Combine going on. Always interesting to me to see how close the actual height and scale reads in comparison to what you get. You know, Owen Papo, I think, he's a workout junkie. Did only weigh 210 pounds, though. So where do you move a guy that is as good as he is, runs as well as he does, can bench what he can, but he only weighs 210.
Yeah.
There's not many of those. Where do those players play?
I mean, that's small for a safety.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
In the NFL, yeah.
And, you know, like you said, a 4.39, he's fast enough to play safe. Do you try to convert him? Or some sort of hybrid outside linebacker,
star type of player that are out there.
Something like that.
May have to be that. If he's weighing 210 and he's in as good a shape as he's in right now, running that type of time, why would you want to thicken him up another 20
Let's put it to you
pounds?
this way. On 3rd and 1, he's probably on the sideline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as at the linebacker spot. Because at 210, I mean, those guys just going to bowl you over.
That's probably what most of us Auburn fans expected, seeing him out there on the field when that weight comes in. On the Alabama side, we had a couple of scales that were a little off. You know, you had an offensive lineman that measured 6'5". He actually was 6'6" when he goes to the combine. And then you've got, you know, Bryce Young and others that were much shorter and weighed about the equal to what we thought they did, but a little bit shorter than we expected.
A little bit shorter, but the one that caught my eye the whole time, and this is going to be an interesting one to watch, and it's something that's fun to talk about. Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
He's the biggest quarterback in the draft. This is official now after the workouts. He's the biggest quarterback in the draft, tallest and weighs the most of any quarterback in the draft, fastest 40 time of any quarterback in the draft, most bench reps of any quarterback in the draft, highest
vertical lead.
Highest vertical of any quarterback in the draft, and the longest broad jump. So Anthony Richardson is a freak athlete. There's no question. But now you've got people talking about him in the top 5, top 3, teams falling in love and trading up. Have you ever seen Anthony Richardson play a football game where you said that's a top 5 pick?
Never.
Me either.
No.
I mean, Will Levis, I can buy a little bit because there have been some games where you go, wow, look at him spin that ball. Man.
No.
I mean, there are times when you see him throw the ball and you go, wow, man. Anthony Richardson is not accurate, not decisive.
Numbers aren't great.
They're comparing him to Cam Newton, but he runs well, but he doesn't run like Cam Newton.
No.
And I don't think his arm's as strong as Cam.
Well, and his numbers and his accuracy doesn't weigh out. You know, touchdowns to interceptions last year, I think, was 17-9.
But it's becoming more and more likely that Anthony Richardson's going to be a top 10 pick. And I
don't see it.
I pity the GM that makes that because that's an all-in move, all cards on the deck, because Anthony Richardson's going to be one of two things. He's either going to be a superstar quarterback that's going to win you an unbelievable amount of games, or he's going to be a complete and total flop and out of the league in 3 years.
Or he's going to be playing a different position outside of quarterback.
Yeah, he's never going to be a journeyman quarterback that, starts for a few teams over the course of his. He's not going to be in the middle anywhere. Superstar, trash.
We've had some players come out a little bit like this. I'll name a few of them. Jalen Hurts. But if you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers in college, even at Alabama, no comparison to what you see with Anthony Richardson. Cam Newton, don't even bring that one up.
I mean, Jalen Hurts was an SEC Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh, man, and his numbers at Oklahoma were exceptional.
Yeah.
You can keep going down the list from.
And he goes second round, probably a good value pick right there, right? You're thinking, hey, Carson Wentz a little bit injury prone. We'll draft him, and at the very least, we'll have a competent backup, right?
Vince Young. But even Vince Young's numbers in college were through the roof.
Through the roof.
I mean, probably should have won a Heisman.
Yeah.
If we were to go back and vote on it now after seeing Reggie Bush and what ended up happening with that. But nonetheless, I mean, I don't see it, but that's the reason I guess these NFL scouts get paid the big bucks and the GMs get paid the big bucks.
And I think there are guys at the NFL level that they fall in love with the freak athlete, right? And they see the height and the weight and the speed and the strength and the explosion and the 70-yard arm and all this, and they just fall in love with that, right? Now, Jerry Jones is the world's worst about this. Jerry Jones will fall in love with the fastest player on the. Al Davis was that way, right? But man, some of them just if you draft Anthony Richardson in the top 10, I just want an explanation from you as to what your thought process was, because there's a lot of great athletes in the draft.
A lot of great size and linemen, and I hated to see, the offensive lineman that tore his ACL, and then steps up and he doesn't even really. He's unable to brace himself, in the bench, and he has the most bench reps at 225. I think he did 38 or 39 at 225. That's something to be said about the strength of that young man, to be able to do that and not be able to brace yourself there. So NFL Combine currently going on. That should be something most watched. Do you keep up with that every year, JJ?
I a little bit. I keep up with the Combine a little bit. I read a lot of draft prep stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy the thought, trying to guess the thought process on it, right? Of, okay, why'd you go there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, why that guy? And that sort of thing. So I keep up, like, there's things that are interesting to me. There was one show I was talking about the other day. Left tackles, classic left tackles, right? Typically don't have as many bench reps as, say, a guard, a center, or a power right tackle, right? But the reason is there's a very simple reason for it. Left tackles, you want really long arms.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as if you can get a 40-inch arm, so be it, right? As long as that's a lot harder to bench that many times when you're going, as opposed to like the offensive lineman from Georgia last year, whatever his name was, who's built like a barrel,
Yep.
And shorter arms, he's just got to go here.
Same is it Dickerson from Alabama. Built like just really thick and low to the ground. I think of Ben Grubbs back at Auburn that was more of a 6'1", 6'2" guy to
Speaking
Belmore
of
County.
Philadelphia, Jason Kelsey. I mean, those kind of interior guys are going to get a lot more bench reps than a guy with a huge wingspan that's got to push that thing all the way up there.
Thoughts out there from the Auburn fans of which Auburn players are we not talking about that may get a good look at the NFL? We've had them. We got to tip our hat to the Auburn guys that haven't been drafted all that high, especially back in the secondary, JJ. We've had a number of Auburn players that weren't drafted extremely high that have found their way into some big contracts and playing really well on some key teams. We'll go ahead and take another break. We'll come back, continue to discuss this. Also run down tournament odds. We didn't ask you this yesterday, so I'd like to see SEC.
This is SEC tournament odds.
Tournament odds. Who do you like to see win as we're getting started tonight?
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Kalijah Idol 15 is coming. Thousands of dollars in cash and prizes are on the line. Visit WKGA975.com. It's Kalijah Idol 15.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cab, discounted up to $9,250 off. Chevy Equinox up to $6,750 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
SEC tournament odds, JJ, we went over it yesterday, but I'd like to get your take on these. I had a little bit of a shock there at the top. You know, not that it's Alabama. Alabama's the number one. They're plus 170. But Tennessee's 2. They're plus 280. Kentucky 3, plus 450. Of course, these are the odds on the SEC tournament. A&M plus 500.
That's the one to me. That if you want a value bet, I mean,
it's A&M
plus 500.
I said the same.
I mean, all season they've been the second best team in the league.
And the way that they played against Alabama this past Saturday was, I know it was on the road, but man, they played good.
Yeah.
I watched a good bit of that ball game, and I know that you did too, JJ. Just from a from an athleticism standpoint, and the two games that I thought Alabama had it taken to them this year, it took someone that wanted to play rough.
Yeah.
Physical play.
Yep.
Now, both teams had Alabama on the road.
Right.
So one was Oklahoma on a Saturday, and the other was A&M on a Saturday. The others have been, games that could have gone both ways. But watching both of those games, I just thought they bullied Alabama in those two games. Was that kind of your take too?
Sure. Well, I mean, you know what Alabama wants to do, right?
Yeah.
And so if you can get them out of that, going 3 of 20 or whatever it was from the 3-point.
Yep.
If Alabama starts hitting some of those threes, it changes the nature of the game. And it allows, because it forces the defense out, and then you can get to the basket unimpeded, right? So it's when the shots are falling, it's a little different. If you look at those games, Oklahoma, A&M, shots weren't falling.
Yep.
South Carolina nearly beat them. Same thing. Shots weren't falling. If you can hit a few of those threes, hit 9, 10, 11 of those 30 threes you're going to take,
you're going to have a good chance.
You're going to have a pretty good chance to.
Against just about anybody. But the question is, do you defend it well? Can you defend the perimeter with athletic guys that are long well? And the two teams that did keep Alabama from shooting it well from the perimeter had those type of guys.
That's right.
So A&M, as we mentioned, they're the 4th best odds to win the SEC tournament, plus 500. Then comes Auburn and Arkansas. Both teams playing one another. Both are plus 1,200. I like that. The thing that gets those two teams the nod over me, Missouri, and Mississippi State, who comes up next, is Bruce Pearl and Musselman.
No doubt.
And their ability to coach in tournament play.
Both of those teams, like right off, just if I'm looking at it, right, I'm going, okay, I don't think Auburn or Arkansas are going to win the tournament.
Yep.
But I can see either one of them in the finals on Sunday.
Yep.
In my head, right? I can see either one of them there. Which would be a heck of an accomplishment. And once you get to Sunday, who knows? But
and who knows who you'll be playing?
Who knows who you'll be
and
playing?
how the matchup is. That's the thing for Auburn. If you watched Auburn on the road at Rupp, well, thank the Lord, first off, we don't have to go to Rupp.
Right.
Because you could go ahead and write that one
Well,
up.
see, that to me is the key on, like, NCAA tournament bids, right? I think there's a chance it stops at Auburn and Arkansas.
Yeah.
There's a chance it expands down to Mississippi State, so.
It's all going to depend, and we didn't see that last year. A&M had the nice run in the SEC tournament, making it to the SEC championship game, but still didn't get the nod to get into the NCAA tournament, and so that was surprising to many. Brett has taken that it's so late in the process that the people that are sitting there on the committee don't have the time to really analyze how good those teams are playing based off of that tournament run.
Sure.
And so we'll see that this year. I'm still sitting there as having watched this over the years and thinking that Auburn just win one.
Right.
Just beat Arkansas.
To feel comfortable, right?
If we get a couple of more wins and we do something special, so be it, but just beat Arkansas, make another NCAA tournament. And for both of us sitting up here as Auburn and Alabama fans, that's something to be seen.
I think Auburn's in. I said that earlier. I think Auburn's a lock to be in. The question is, are you going to be an 11, a 9, an 8? And that may come down to tournament performance.
So we'll see how that plays out. That is coming up tomorrow, and Auburn playing against a team in Arkansas that seems to be playing okay. They have lost their last 3 games, so a little shocked with that.
Normally, late season, you expect Musselman's team to be kind of peaking coming into tournament.
Making the Elite Eight the last 2 years.
And they really haven't done that at the end of this season.
Getting Nick Smith Jr. back and adding his point production to that team. I'm a little shocked, but hopefully they can play poorly again and they can go out of this season losing their last 4. And if they do that, I can't see how Arkansas makes it into the NCAA tournament. Jerry Palm did have Auburn as a 9 seed. This would be, the next topic I'd like to bring up to you. What if Auburn and Alabama end up in that Birmingham
Would they
bracket?
do that? Would the tournament do that?
I hope.
All right, Auburn as a 9, so if you beat the 8, you know what happens.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're going to have a chance to play that Alabama as a 1.
That's right.
In Birmingham.
That's right.
I know one community that would like to see it happen.
I do too.
That's the leadership of Birmingham.
Yeah.
It would be wonderful. JJ, we were just over at the Legacy Arena with our radio network crew. We lived over there this past week. We did 42 games. That facility is prime for this. I mean, I like the renovations that they've done. The city of Birmingham has really stepped up with all of the restaurants, and the entertainment that's downtown now. This has been needed for a while with the growth of basketball over the last 10 years.
Sure, and but the same thing with the new football stadium, Protective Life Stadium. You know?
Right there.
Same thing there. You got all those great restaurants outside of there, you know, the entertainment, you know, area, and so it's. I mean, if you want to build a city, entertainment options are number one, because nobody's going to come to your city if there's not something to do, and that's Legacy Arena, Protective Life, the whole downtown food scene, the whole downtown bar scene, all of that. I mean, you've got some really high-end, cool bars and restaurants in downtown Birmingham right now.
Nashville really got it going on too.
Yeah.
My question, which program travels the best this weekend? I think it'll depend on how well both teams play. But will Alabama travel to Nashville? Large contingency Alabama fans? I suspect they will.
I suspect they will. Will the Kentucky fans be out in their normal?
If they do, that will hurt Auburn and Alabama's chances if they were to win, to really put. But I was so taken back at how many fans Auburn had at the Vandy. And trust me, their fan base was too.
Yeah.
I had a man in front of me that was not happy that there were more Auburn fans than there were Vandy fans at home that night. So I know Auburn fans. We're going to travel to Nashville if the team plays well. It just is it's a fun city to go to anyway.
It's an excuse to go to Nashville, right? I mean, you don't, there's plenty to do out there.
Go ahead and take a break here on the Auburn Blitz.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
SEC baseball in full swing, JJ, and I thought it would be interesting to go back and look at where everyone predicted the SEC to be. And I know that we haven't really gotten into conference play yet, but you still can see where Auburn and Alabama and others are starting to fill in. The East had Tennessee at the top, Florida there at 2, and Vandy at 3. On the West, it was LSU at the top, A&M at 2, Arkansas at 3. Alabama came in at 5th, Auburn came in at 6, Mississippi State dead last on the West. Watching Auburn and Alabama play the first part of this year, I think they're off here. I think both Auburn and Alabama are primed for better than average SEC seasons this year. Auburn wins 4-1 against UAB last night, took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. Brett and I talked about that yesterday. 6-7 years ago, Auburn would hold their own on SEC, but we would come back and play a midweek game against Troy and lose. We'd come back, play a midweek game against UAB and lose. And what that tells me as a baseball fan is our 5th and 6th starters were not as good as the 2 or 3 best starters for the opposition that we were up against. Now, I think Auburn's 5th and 6th best starters are better than the 1s and 2s from these out-of-conference midweek games like UAB, like Troy, like Jacksonville State. And that means you're building something. Yeah. It feels like Alabama's doing the same, JJ.
Well, we were just talking, you got to have pitching. I mean, there's no substitute. I don't care how many hitters you got. You've got to have pitching. And if you're going to play 5 or 6 games over the course of 7 days, you better be able to go 5 deep off of that rotation, and get quality pitches out of it. So
Auburn now 10-1-1 on the season. That win against UAB was a big one. Also play tonight against Jack State. That's at 6 p.m. This weekend will be Southeastern Louisiana. Don't know the stats last night, but Auburn's got a couple of new names there, JJ, that are swinging a bat as well as we've had 2 newcomers coming into the league swing it since I can really remember. Bryson Ware's hitting .513, 6 home runs, 6 doubles, 17 RBIs. Ike Irish, who was a top 30 prospect in the country coming out of high school last year, has not disappointed in his early going there at Auburn. He's hitting .535 on the season, 6 doubles, 9 ribbies as a true freshman. It's nice to see expectations meet what you're thinking.
Yeah,
you're getting.
now the pitching is going to improve that he's facing.
Yes.
When conference play comes
sure
around.
It will.
But,
yeah.
Man, 535 is still 535.
Yeah,
535 is hard to do off a tee. You know what I mean?
You get 11 or 12 games into a season, it's not just a single weekend.
Yeah.
You've made it through 3 or 4 weeks. If you're swinging that hot a bat, outside of a big drop-off, you're primed for a great year. And those that have watched Ike Irish swing the bat come back to me and say, Randy, I mean, his plate coverage, his ability to slash it all around the field, just his overall confidence up there at the plate. I hope he meets the next 2 years what he's doing here to start this season, and we've got a guy. Because that is the beauty of college baseball, JJ. It's not like basketball.
Yep.
I get in basketball where I don't get too emotionally attached to great players. Like, are you currently emotionally attached to Brandon Miller?
No, I mean, it's been a joy to watch him play.
Yeah.
But he's gone after a year.
He is. So you can't, buy into the greatness that you've got.
Whereas a guy like a Herb Jones or a John Petty, you got them for 4 years. And, man, that was fun. And they'll always, you'll always kind of remember the turnaround of the program while they were there, because they came into a pretty bad situation and they left in a pretty good one.
Same with Auburn last year. Jabari Smith, Walker Kessler. I know Kessler, transferring in from North Carolina, but still, we only get him for 1 year. And Jabari, we only get for 1 year. And we can follow him and keep up and call them one of our own, and we always will do that. But it's not like football and baseball.
Yeah.
Football and baseball, you get an Ike Irish, he's there 3 years.
That's right.
Nowhere for him to go. You know, you get a Bryce Young, he's there for 3 years. You're going to know that you've got somebody that you can feel like you groomed.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you groom a guy that's on campus 6 months.
Right.
I don't know how much Nate Oates has groomed Brandon Miller. You know, I mean, truthfully, it's just not enough time to put your stamp on somebody. I feel the same with Jabari last year with Auburn.
And I still kind of wonder if it was the right decision, the one and done thing, right? Should you just let him go straight out?
I thought you should.
Because if you're good enough to play in the NBA is going to know it. And then you know, if they're being honest about it, they'll tell you, hey, you're not quite ready to do a year or two in college. But I always wondered about that because Kobe Bryant, there was no reason for Kobe Bryant to go play college basketball.
No.
None at all.
LeBron. Zero.
No reason for him to go other than, you know, he's going to go make some coach a giant new contract.
Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for that matter, we go back further, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
You know, but there are some that are just, and that's a sport where you can do it. You can't do that in football.
I tell you, I like the college baseball setup. It's so much better. Here's the deal. You get drafted high enough, you're a first-round pick, you go take the money.
That's right.
Clearly, people think that you're going to be up quickly. If you don't, come to SEC. Be groomed. You're probably going to be in a better position to end up making the league. I think that that's
You're
kids like
getting
Ike
3
Irish.
years of a minor league type
You are.
situation.
Yeah, so if you're going to be a 5th to 10th round pick in MLB draft out of high school, you got to think about it now.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's set in stone that you make that choice to go, and I think that Ike Irish is one, and you know many others that you're seeing out there are changing. I wish that if the LeBron James and the Kobe Bryants going out, I would guess Brandon Miller wouldn't have been drafted.
I would guess. I know.
What was he, about 40th ranked player?
Yeah.
Coming out. I mean, he's. I don't know where Jabari was. He wasn't a top 10 ranked player.
But I'm with you. Why not let him go through the process?
Yeah.
Like baseball, and if you get drafted high enough for the team, but like. I watched a thing about Brian McCann one time, and Brian McCann was headed to Alabama. Braves drafted him in the second round. Yeah, he committed to Alabama. And but he got drafted in the second round. And him and his dad were all about going to Atlanta, but his mama told him told the Braves, you cannot negotiate with either one of them. Only I can sign the deal. And she said there was a number, and if they weren't going to meet that number, he was going to Alabama. Period. And they
Mama knows best.
3, 4, 5 offers, 6 offers, you know, all this, trying to go around Mama and get to Brian, and then and then finally they said, you know, fine, we'll meet the number, and so he
ends up there with the Braves.
He ends up in Atlanta, right? But why not let a kid do that, right?
I'd rather them do that, and if you're a top 10 pick and you want to go on, go. But if you choose to come the college route, you got to stay 3 years.
Yeah,
and maybe that would never happen, but somehow it works out in baseball.
It works in baseball. It used to work in basketball. It works in football.
Yeah.
So, I mean, without the pre-draft thing.
I wonder if there's a part of the NBA and college basketball that does like to position themselves with players like Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not even bringing Jabari and Brandon into the mix because I don't know that they would have been the top pick in the draft.
Well, it's
coming out of
always
high school.
surprised me that the NBA Players Association goes along with the one-and-done thing as opposed to making them wait 3 years. Because if you're in the Players Association, chances are you're a veteran player. Every young stud that comes up there is one less roster spot for a veteran.
Yeah.
Because if you draft a kid in the top 10, you're not going to leave him off the roster. So there's a veteran player that's not going to have a job, right? So it always amazed me that the Players Association has been so much in favor of the young guys coming in early.
But back to the reason we ran down this old rat hole is because Ike Irish, he's with us. This guy's hitting .535, and he's with us this year and 2 more years before we lose. And hopefully we got what we thought that we may get. It just seems to be maybe even better than we
get an All-American for 3 years.
All-American for 3 years.
Sooner or later, MLB will get their player.
That's right.
That's right.
Go ahead and take our last break here on the Auburn Blitz.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Kalijah Idol 15 is coming. Thousands of dollars in cash and prizes are on the line. Visit WKGA975.com. It's Kalijah Idol 15.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bugs Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bugs Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bugs Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bugsisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Glad to have Brett Pritchard on the line with us. And Brett, you sent me over a message a little bit earlier. Great pitching performance for Auburn last night against a Casey Dunn-led UAB squad. Anytime you play a midweek game, I don't care if it's against UAB, Troy, or Jacksonville State, and you carry a no-no into the ninth, somebody's throwing it well, or multiple pitchers are throwing it well.
Yeah, they really did. Tommy Vale last night was, again, a superstar. It went 5 and 2/3, and up to that point really had not given up. He had walked a couple of guys and gotten in a jam, but had not given up a hit. Auburn didn't give up a hit till the 9th inning. This is a new group of guys that have come in, and we're hearing a lot of different names, and that's the cool thing about this team, and they're hitting for power up and down. Ike Irish had a little bit of an off night last night, but like I said, Bryson Ware almost hit for the side.
Uh-oh.
Brett, we lose you there? Yeah, lost Brett. Maybe we'll catch back up with him. But, yes, great win, 4-1 against UAB last night. And Alabama off to a scorching hot start. I can't remember the last time Alabama started this strong.
I always wait for the first 3 weeks of conference play, right? Because there's just too many times, right, where you see, man, they're really playing well. And then they 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Next thing you know, you're 2-6 and going, what happened? We look pretty good.
Well, the pitching, and you mentioned that, the pitching that you see in the SEC is second to none.
Yeah, it's just different. And, and we'll find out, who can adjust to that and, who will struggle a little bit.
But it's nice to have these programs outside of football. We hope that Auburn football can get back and can be competitive.
Something to think about this.
Yes.
We've talked ad nauseum on the negatives of NIL, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one of the positives of NIL is that in the non-football sports, basketball, for example, I think you're going to find that NIL is going to put non-powerhouse, non-blue blood teams on the same fighting level, right? It's going to level that playing field in terms of being able to bring in great players.
Yep.
In terms of being it used to be if you were one of the top 10 high school basketball players in the country, it was a pretty short list, man. It's Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, maybe UCLA, maybe Georgetown, right? But now, if you're one of the top 10 players in the country and a coach can really recruit, you can win a championship anywhere. And it gives a school like an Auburn, an Alabama, a Tennessee, or somebody like that a chance to compete. I'm not just selling you on the fact that we've got all these championship banners. I'm selling you on the fact that we've got a good NIL program that's going to allow you to make some money, and we can win a championship here, and you can lead that. And I think it puts a little bit of the football schools, let's say, on a little bit of an even par with some of the blue bloods. I think you're going to see that some in baseball, too.
I said this several years ago when Bruce Pearl was going through that little sticky season where we wouldn't even put him on the monitor at Auburn.
Right.
Like, he was our coach, but we wouldn't even let him say that we're selling basketball tickets up on the – and I mentioned at the time that if Bruce Pearl goes down with this, then it's lost. College basketball is lost. Because the only thing that I'm sitting here knowing from what I know about recruiting and the underbelly of recruiting in both football, basketball, baseball, but especially basketball, that if Auburn and Alabama at the time, who was going through a little bit of turmoil, if you remember, it was Sexton that was part of the deal. I said, if our two programs go down with basketball because we're actually competing.
Right.
I mean, the only reason we're going down is because we're going head-to-head with Kentucky on recruits and North Carolina when we never truly have had an opportunity unless it was an in-state kid that we had an in with.
Yeah.
And if that – so I think that what you said makes a lot of sense there, JJ, because it is now we can do – everybody knows what everybody else is doing. So now the kids aren't – some of us were, even in football, were positioned better to play the underbelly game than others. And I'm saying Alabama has always been positioned well to play the underbelly extremely well in football. Auburn had to figure the game out, or we were just going to get our heads beat in by Alabama too much.
LSU,
and we
Texas,
all knew
Florida.
it. We all knew it was going on.
Yeah.
We've all had the good fortune of being around kids that were offered stuff.
Yeah.
And I knew them well enough to know they weren't looking at me. Their parents and their guardians weren't looking at me lying. No, they were getting stuff under the table.
And you know this. We've talked about this. My father played at Auburn.
Yeah.
And, it would have been 70, 71, whatever. Came in, same recruiting class with Pat Sullivan and those guys. And he's like, first thing you do, they take you out, you need a couple of suits, right? So Everybody goes to the clothing store, pick you out a couple of nice suits. You're going to need these for dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
Take you to the bookstore, get whatever you need, decorate your dorm room. You know, it's little stuff, right? It's not a charger, you know, but so that, and it's gone on in college sports since they started playing college sports. You know what I mean? To one degree or another. But basketball is the one that just got off the rails, man. I mean, college basketball 5 years ago was a dumpster fire.
The Big East and the shoe deals and, you know, all the money that was thrown around to get guys to come to the Big East so they could keep those shoe deals and those coaches happy.
Right.
We just got left out.
Yeah.
But now we're getting back in, so it's a fun time to be a college basketball fan in the state of Alabama. We got SEC tournament coming up. Stay tuned in. For JJ, I'm Randy. Thanks for tuning in to today's Auburn Blitz.